A to Z Sports Nashville, good morning. It's a Thursday, and it's a third string Thursday. Another day, another JT and Easton show. Excited to be here with you all this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. We are once again talking Titans as they are in the thick of week 5. And we were at the facility, both JT and I, yesterday. We spoke with Brian Callahan. JT, you spoke with Cam Ward. You spoke with Cody Barton. You spoke with Jeff Simmons. Those are all people we're going to hear from today. As the news of the day in Titans land, a place that is increasingly devoid of actual football, is everyone's thoughts on Cam's comments. New comments? No, the ones he made now 4 days ago. We're going to revisit all of those because that is what people are interested in. There were some comments made by coaches and players and Cam yesterday about his post-game comments from Sunday, the comments that have sparked 1,000 Etsy t-shirts, the comments that have sparked 1,000 20-year-olds who happen to be social media managers for ESPN and Bleacher Report and every possible sports media company to create funny graphics of the Cam Ward "we ass" comments. That's what today is going to be about, and I think we had some interesting thoughts on that. We've surveyed the landscape over the last 12 hours to see how people reacted to this. JT, I think you and I might have a slightly different reaction than some. We're going to get your thoughts in the comments on what you think about what Cam said, whether or not it was fair for him to say what he said, whether or not it was smart for him to say what he said, all of those things and more. And then we are going to talk about some football to end the show. The Titans have 3 wild card players who are currently technically injured. They are at mixed stages of their return, but they all feel pretty close. And they all, once they're back, should provide this Titans team with some much-needed juice. So we'll talk about where we think each of these 3 guys are in their process to return and what kind of impact they will have once they're back. JT, it's a great morning. Excited to do this show with you. Excited to do this show with all of you all listening. Tell the folks what they need to do before we can get started.
Yeah, good morning, everybody in the chat. 3 days in a row now. It's been triple third string.
That's
Thursday.
Right. The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah. Once again, is Austin just MIA? We have still not heard from him. I don't know where he is at all, actually.
He might not even been in the country anymore. I have no idea where he is. I hope he's alive. I really don't know.
Yeah. Otherwise, I guess we're just going to have to keep on keeping on, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we will see if tomorrow is any different. But for right now,
Austin, you have 72 hours to return before we change the name of this company from A to Z. That is the threat.
E.
we need to hear back from you in the next 72 hours before we change the name of your company.
Yeah, you have until then. Good. But good to see all of you guys in the comments this morning. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, share the show. If you're on Facebook, just hit that share icon in the bottom right corner as well. Make sure you like the show on YouTube, and make sure you are also subscribed to the A to Z Sports YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the content from us throughout the day as we are at Titans the facility every single day. Good stuff today. Good stuff, interesting stuff, because once again, it's yet another useless just thing that it sounds like the players are already over, but it's just our first time hearing about it. So it means it's our time to chime in. And
we're doing an awesome job of selling today's topic. I'm sure you guys are super interested in this thing that we keep.
Yeah, well, they certainly are. They look more interested in this topic than we are.
Okay.
In the comments there.
Well, and we're here to serve. So
excited. Let's go.
All right, let's get it started. Welcome into the A to Z Sports Morning Show, live on a Thursday morning, powered by BTA Sports. We're live every weekday morning at 8:10 Central Time, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Our links tweeted out segment by segment on our Twitter feed at ATOZ Sports. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more Titans coverage, and leave us a 5-star Google review at A to Z Sports. We really appreciate those. Got to thank our sponsors for making the show happen and helping out you guys at home. Wilson County Hyundai. Make Wilson County Hyundai a part of your new car buying process in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine, boneandjointtn.org. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Gallatin. BoteroCarts.com. And Window Nation. Buy 2 windows and you'll get 2 for free. Make no payments for 2 years at windownation.com. JT, it is you and I. Austin is not around to stop us or tell us what to do. So I'm going to briefly, I'm not going to derail the show, but I want to mention this at the top because it is the most actual news item in Nashville sports media. And that is Nashville SC winning the Open. Is it the Open Cup? Is that what it's called? Is that
sure.
Chat?
Sure.
I think it's the Open Cup. They won a championship last night. It was the first Nashville SC game I watched start to finish because it was on Paramount Plus and not an Apple TV subscription. So I watched it. Just saw a super chat. That's another thing that's not related to today's show, but we will get to that, I promise. So Rhino, hold that thought. The broadcast, the team, social media, MLS as a league, they really went all in, full bore on this Tennessee's first state professional team sport championship. And I think that was a big fat mistake, JT. I'm not here to be a hater this morning. I think Nashville SC fans should be going crazy. Apparently, this is it's a regional, maybe even continental championship that is a rung or 2 below maybe the league championship for MLS, the actual like playoffs that are about to start when you can win the league. But this is something that's been given out since early 1900s. It's storied. It's competitive. The pool of competition is strong. So I'm not saying it's like, this is not an NBA in-season cup deal. Like it's not that, but it's also not Tennessee's first team sports championship trophy on multiple fronts. Number one, technically speaking, the Titans have a championship trophy that's been collecting dust for 25 years. And it's also, by the way, ironically called the Lamar Hunt Trophy. So now the state of Tennessee has 2 Lamar Hunt trophies because that's what the trophy is called. The Nashville SC won yesterday.
Is it really?
I have no idea. I'm assuming it's not the same Lamar Hunt, but they are
Maybe
both called the Lamar Hunt Trophy. The Preds won the Western Conference Finals in 2016. They won the President's Cup in 2017. It's not the first trophy for team sports. Is it the first championship for team sports? Also, technically no, because what the Titans did was technically called a championship, and also it's not. You didn't win your team sport league. You don't like. There are 5. What are there? There are 5 major team sports in North America that hand out 5 league trophies every year, and Tennessee doesn't have one of those yet. So it's semantics. I'm not trying to take away from this, but I hate that the league or whoever in PR was like, we really need to push this hard because they kept mentioning it on the broadcast, all over social media. Nobody could celebrate Nashville SC's win, which is awesome, and they did a fantastic job without it being about the first trophy. Wow. Guys, stop. You're hurting yourselves amongst the non-soccer fans because the rest of us look at that and we're like, you're devaluing a fantastic job the Nashville SC did. JT, do you feel the same way as me, or am I being a nasty hater this morning?
I mean, I get, yeah, I didn't know that they said the first trophy. I saw it 10,000 times yesterday. I feel like it's different though, a little bit, because maybe I'm the only person, but like, do conference championship trophies really count if you don't win the whole thing? No. Like, I don't think I'm not saying those count either. I'm saying they count to me as much as this counts. My point is, if you have multiple championships available to be won in your team sport, only one of them counts towards has your state won one or not. Yeah, I think championship. That's where I agree with you. I think this is once again another one. Tennessee has another secondary trophy. Yes, it is another. I mean, Mar says it. Tell them to win the MLS Cup. They certainly were able to do this, and they're certainly in playoff position. Keep going, I guess. Yeah, go do it. Go do it. I'll be rooting for you. I don't think this is like this is not a in-season tournament like NBA style. I think it's a little bit more than that.
It is.
To me, in my weird brain, I liken it to like Mario Party, where there are, you get like special stars after everything is over, and
right.
you get rewarded those. This is like one of those. Like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
here's the bonus.
Yeah.
I do think that if they are able to actually win the MLS Cup, like then
Of course. There's no
it not
question
only
about
does
that.
it give you the first trophy, but it kind of supplants this season for the Nashville SC as like a huge season in their history.
That would be a ball don't lie moment, right? I mean, that would be like, oh, you don't think our trophy counts? We'll get the other one too. Okay, well, you know
the
what?
last thing I
We will
will
eat crow on that.
the last thing I will say about that is
Great analogy, by the way. Johnny
Thank you.
appreciates the Mario Kart call.
The last thing I'll say is like I saw somebody in the chat say like, look what happened to Nashville SC when they finally fixed their coaching. So hey, to bring it all back.
Hey, all Nashville SC needed was a Brian Callahan, and
they needed a Callahan.
They have a Brian Callahan.
His name's BJ.
I'm pretty sure the B stands for Brian.
Oh, does it really?
Unless people online are trolling, I'm pretty sure it's technically Brian Callahan.
Okay, well,
so, but I know what you're saying.
But yeah,
it's spelled differently, but
they got the right Callahan over there, I guess.
Brutal. As Ramon says, let's get back to suffering. Indeed, let's get back to suffering. So everyone knows that if you miss this, you're going to see it on T-shirts and stuff. So it's impossible to miss at this point. Cam Ward, after the 26-0 beatdown in Houston, came out to the media in his normal immediate post-game press conference, and amongst other things, said, if we keep it at a buck right now, we ass, which nobody on the planet heard and fundamentally disagreed with, because it was a statement of fact. No question, right? We all understand what he said. True,
it's correct.
Yes, not inaccurate. However, and I don't even know why this was brought up at yesterday's press conference. Sometimes the Wednesday that, we talked to the head coach on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as mandated by league rules around the league. And sometimes those Wednesday press conferences, people just, it's a wild card Wednesday. It's really what it is. You never quite know whether it's going to be a looking forward question, a looking back question, a question that's kind of timeless and has nothing to do with the games. Wednesdays for whatever you got in your bag, reach in the bottom and scrape the bottom of the barrel. And thoughts on, I think it came up mostly because it had been 3 days and people were still talking about it. And there has been news of fans who have created We Ask Titans t-shirts that they are selling on, like, I don't know, Etsy or, whatever, some back channel online. And it's like they made a batch of 150 of them and they sold out in like 8 hours. And now they're having to make more. So you're going to see them at the stadium, I think. Like, I think by the time, because it's 2 weeks before they're back here, right? So within the next 2 weeks, the merchandise is going to churn. And by week 7, when the Patriots are rolling in, my money is on Buck Rising's Twitter account being the first to
tweet out a picture
to create video evidence of We Ask t-shirts, because that sounds like something that he'd be interested in. So
there's an opportunity, and I forget who, I think Nick Suss said this yesterday, but there's an opportunity for some performative art at the next home game, in which people are giving out We Ask t-shirts that are sprayed with mayo cologne.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like it. True, but I don't like it. So Cam made those comments. We asked Brian Callahan about it yesterday, and let's just start with his comments, I guess, is the best place to start. Here is what he had to say on what Cam Ward said after the game.
Yeah, he's still he's a young player. He's the number 1 overall pick. He's the face of the franchise, if you will. He's got high expectations for himself. We have high expectations around him, and we all want to meet those. And his ability to be in that spotlight in that moment, I think, is a growing process for him. I think he's growing up. I think he's starting to understand the weight of his words, what those things mean when he speaks and everyone's listening and watching. And then even though he says, he follows up commentary with a lot of the right things, it's the one-liner that gets taken. And he's learning how to deal with you guys and how to understand how to have those conversations and still maintain the image that he wants to maintain as a starting quarterback. So growing up is not always easy, and I think there's some things that he's learning along the way, just like we all do.
All right, so that's what started a trend at the facility yesterday of then asking everybody else we could get our hands on about Cam's comments as well, including Cam. And we're going to hear from him in the clip that we have in a moment. We're going to hear from Jeff. We're going to hear from Cody Barton. And then we're going to talk about whether or not it is fair to think Cam's comments should have been different. The question that I am now sending in the chat that I want to give you guys a chance to go ahead and answer while JT, you tell our friends about the Bone and Joint Institute.
Yeah, the Bone and Joint Institute. Don't fumble your recovery. It's the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust. The Bone and Joint Institute is located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury with their state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help your recovery. That includes everything under one roof for your convenience, whether that's clinicking, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab. They've got it all for you. So whenever you get hurt in life, we trust them. You should trust them as well. To schedule an appointment, go to boneandjointtn.org.
We're also powered by BTA Sports, Better for Betters. We've got a big slate of college football and NFL football coming up, including tonight. Who plays tonight? It's just dawning on me. I don't even know.
Rams and 49ers, I believe.
Oh, that's an exciting one. All right. Looking forward to because it's Mac Jones.
Well, yeah, actually, I love Mac Jones. So, hey.
This is your boy. This is your matchup. I'm going to be checking into my BTA Sports app later today to see what kind of bets need to be placed. Use their knowledge, their analytical modeling to inform my bets. You should as well. Use the link in the description below to turn the standard 3-day trial into a 14-day trial. And then it's $9.99 a week at BTA Sports, dominating the game. All right, JT, we've got some commenters chiming in on whether or not it was fair for Cam Ward to say what he said. And before we get to the commenters, I think it's only fair to let Cam address what he said. Here's what he had to say yesterday about his own comments from Sunday.
Well, that's been good. Then it's been also more of a me seeing, their side as well. So, we had some conversations, but it's been good. We still the same teammates in and out outside the locker room. But I got some good guys around me. We know that we ain't play our best ball yet. We got a lot of potential on this roster. We just got to go prove it on Sundays.
Have you been surprised at all by how big the response was nationally to people latching on to that comment?
Not really. They gonna blow it up no matter what, whether it's good or bad for the Titans. So we trying to win football games. That's the biggest thing, and that's what we try to go do this week.
All right, so he's talking there about speaking specifically to his teammates. And so let's hear from his teammates. This is what Jeffrey Simmons had to say at his locker after Cam's address to his comments. And this is a longer video, but we'll talk about it in a minute. I think this is one of Jeff's better moments of the year at his locker room personally, but I saw quite a few folks saying that they thought this was tone deaf on Jeff's part. So we'll unpack that, but here's what he said.
Me and Cam talked about that off record. I'm going to keep that between me and Cam, but at the end of the day, we 0-4. When you turn on the tape, everybody going to, like I said, Cam has the right to speak how you want to speak to the media, but, I had some advice for him, and like I said, I keep that off record, but at the end of the day, we all have when these microphones in front of you, they can blow up, just one part of what you're saying. But I think at the end of the day, man, when you turn on the tape, it's the reason why we come in and be like, we right there. It's the reason why we come in and be like, I feel like we have a chance to go win football games on Sundays, because it's the small things that when you get into fourth quarter, and we talking about it, and I'm sure you guys hear from Denard, like, we get into the fourth quarter and start making up things. We missed too many tackles. Showed us a stat today to where we had 2 missed tackles in the first half versus in our second half of the games, we got like 35 missed tackles. And that shows, a football team that not doing the things and having that stamina into the second half. So I think that's the thing we need to focus on to win football games. And, like I said, it's the reason why I come in and say, we are right there. It's just a small thing we can fix that can help us win the football game.
Obviously. And now one final comment, a shorter clip from Cody Barton, who was asked about this and had less to say, but kind of echoed what Jeff Simmons said there in that video.
We just told him, you got to be careful with your words. And that's that. There's no you know, we're with Cam. You know, he's one of our teammates. We all love him. So there's no animosity or anything like that towards him.
Yeah.
All right, JT. Now let's tuck into the comments. We asked the question, is it fair to think Cam Ward's comments should have been different? I'll send you to the chat. What are the people saying?
Kendall kicks us off and says, it is fair, but wrong AF. Richie says it is foul.
Fair, but wrong is interesting. I'm not sure I've ever heard that.
Richie says foul. Major Keys says very fair. Grow a pair, apparently.
Okay.
Cam's comments were fine. Cam's comments were spot on. Rooney says they were foul. Let's see. No, Cam kept it a buck. No, Cam spoke his mind and took accountability first before the comment. He's a real leader, unlike our lame duck head coach. Nope, Cam was 100% being real. Wait, is that the same thing? Yeah, Major Keys just saying the same, both sides of the answer there. So
I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on
fair
top.
enough. Jeff says not fair. Keep it real. Titans are booty cheeks. Tuesday morning garbage juice trash.
Oh.
Let's see what else. Nope. Cam needs to continue to be honest. That's what real leaders do. Truth hurts just sometimes. Cam is frustrated. I love that he cares enough. Let's see. Nope. Tired of everyone thinking the team is okay.
That's crazy straw man. Who thinks the team is okay? You're tired of who is everybody? Huh?
Here's one where I think a lot of it comes from, like, remote. If he says it, he believes him. Cam 100%, which is I feel like
nobody's saying that he doesn't think that the team is ass, and nobody's saying that he was wrong about the team being ass. That wasn't the question. The question is it fair to think his comments should have been different? That is the question. But JT, you and I are not surprised that this has been the response, because the response we've seen on social media all day yesterday. It's the response we saw from some of the usual suspects in media who got real up in arms over this. It's going to lead all the radio shows today. Our friend Buck, who, you know, I love that Buck and I and you and Austin all have differing opinions for the most part, because it makes for some interesting difference in content on A to Z Sports. And when I see Buck immediately go write an op-ed, Buck not often jumping to write at things because he's more of a broadcaster than a writer these days. When he's like, I'm posting, I'm like, about what? And then it's this op-ed on why Cam Ward was right and the rest of the Titans organization blows. I'm like, yeah, that checks out. That sounds about right for Buck. I saw Kaharski very upset about this. I know our buddy Zach Lyons thinks that Cam is absolutely right and the rest of the people are being ridiculous. So I'm sure on his show they'll talk about it that way. I'm sure all the radio shows talk about it that way. JT, and I think you and I just don't quite see it that way. I'm not going to speak for you because you have a slightly different opinion on this than I do. Here's my opinion on this. I think it's ridiculous that we are all pretending to care so much about this. I think it's crazy and a dark, dark sign of where we are right now. Truly depressing times in Titans land, where everybody is tuned right now to be as critical as humanly possible about every single little thing. Everything is irksome, no matter what. Everything is handled with a fine-tooth comb and put under a microscope. And nobody with the team, besides Cam, who is everybody's, this is not an anti-Cam take by any means. This is the way that it works in the NFL. When you get a rookie quarterback drafted highly, everybody loves a rookie quarterback. He's the perfect, beautiful little boy who can do no wrong. I feel the same way about Cam. I want to protect Cam at all costs, and I want him to succeed, because if he succeeds, then the team is interesting. I get it. That being said, that those young quarterbacks, they get the benefit of the doubt from fans. I've seen some fans openly admit online about I will defend Cam no matter what this year. Interception, bad play by the receiver, or simply a good play by the defender. Sack, offensive line's got to block better. No matter what, I will spin it in Cam's favor, which I respect. If that's the way you operate, then go for it, man. The reality here is that I see both sides personally. This is how I feel. So to answer the question, is it fair to think his comments should have been different? Yes. what Cam said was correct. What Cam said was refreshingly honest. And so I understand why we all appreciated that element of it in the moment in a vacuum. What he said was also funny. So I support good bits. On the other side of the coin, is it what a rookie quarterback who has not done a dang thing in the NFL should be saying at the podium to the media when his team is struggling? No, it's not. Should he be being honest at the podium? Sure. Should he be expressing his frustration with his own play and with his team at the podium? Absolutely. I'm not saying he shouldn't have expressed this sentiment. I'm saying the way that he did it, he's going to learn, and it sounds like he already has learned. This is all small potatoes, like whatever. I think it's a small learning moment where he's like, oh, yeah, that's the kind of thing where I'm inclined to say it. It's just kind of a flippant thing I don't really think about. It's true. It's funny. It's honest. And yet it's the kind of thing that I'm the quarterback of a team. I'm the face of the franchise. That's going to end up on t-shirts. And it's not going to look good for the team. And it's not going to make my teammates happy because they're out there busting their butts just like I am. And also, again, I'm 24 years old and I've not done a dang thing in the league. So there's not a whole lot of grace for you to go to the podium and just say whatever you want because it's been a month and you're a rookie and you have not played well. So I understand both sides of this entirely. Do I think it's a little bit tone deaf the way that Jeff Simmons handled it, considering Jeff's reputation with the media and kind of just wearing his emotions on his sleeve and saying what he wants? I mean, yeah. Is it a funny message? Is it a funny messenger for that message to come from? A little bit, yeah. Does that change the fact that what he said is true? And I think an exhibition of true leadership from Jeffrey Simmons in that response that he had yesterday that we played. No, what he said is true, and I think what he said was real leadership. So it is what it is. Is this a big deal? No. What the real takeaway here is, I hate that we all care about this, and that it's this massive thing, because in reality, I find this not even uninteresting, more just like unimportant. I find this deeply unimportant. But we're in this place where everybody has to have big emotions and big opinions on this kind of thing for the next 24 hours. And all the radio shows are going to run with it. And all the op-eds are going to be written today because the team stinks and there's nothing else to talk about. So here we are.
Yeah. And I think everyone is right in this situation, because when they all talk about this, I think it's really interesting to look at first from Cam's side. Like, I echo everything you just said. Like, yes, what Cam said is absolutely true. This team is ass. They're ass. However,
our best scientists have verified this is a matter of fact. We've checked. They are
I get it. It's very hard to look at it from like the national side of things and like take a step back. But like those questions, when you talk about a culture that has not been built whatsoever, the guy at the top needs to be the guy that can kind of weather the storm without having, these things that in the long term are going to hurt your franchise's outlook. Like it is a national story now that everyone, and I applaud many Titans fans just leaning into the bit of everyone thinks we're ass, so we're ass. Like that's, I mean, that's a great way to look at it. But still, it is the fact that the national opinion of you, for many of these players, as Darren says, very many different words for the word ass, which I think is fair. But from a culture building perspective, I don't know if like I get where Jeffrey Simmons and Cody Barton are coming from when they say that, right? Like if I'm in that locker room, like you said, busting their butt, and I've been in this league for 6-7 years now, and a guy who's played less
2 days in a row, you've done that, by the way.
What?
6-7 years?
Oh yeah. Once again, I did not even think about
your
it.
subconscious is so tainted by Gen Z that you can't help yourself. Just putting that out. Continue. Sorry. But mine is too, because I keep picking up on it. So keep going.
And like as Bork said, like he said what we already know. But when you are supposed to be the number one de facto leader of this team, when you are trying to build a culture, and you've only played 4 games, and I get it, like he is the guy, and what he says goes. I have no problem with Jeffrey Simmons or Cody Barton taking issue to that, because it can come across as, this kid has been in the league for less than 5 games when I've played multiple years, multiple contracts at this point. Like, he's learning how this works and what it takes to be a leader. And I get it. Like, some people would rather have that blunt honesty right in front of them than taking the high road. I would be inclined to believe that is the one biggest difference between media and fans versus how an NFL team in office wants their team to be run, right? Like, I think a lot of fans say it with your chest. They do not want you to be doing that. They want you to keep it professional. And I get it. This is an unserious team. This is a dysfunctional team that cannot keep it serious. However, the first step to becoming serious is not doing things like that. And so I think there's both sides to this, right? Like, I applaud Cam. I don't want him to take that away. But at the same time, like, this is still very much, this does nothing to change what the Titans are, which is dysfunctional. Like, you can say Cam's finally taking accountability. Doesn't matter. It won't change the fact that this team is still dysfunctional and looks like a joke.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from on that. I honestly, like, I've listened to our buddy Zach Lyons explain why he thinks the opposite, essentially. And I could not be more on the fence on this topic as I am. I see both sides. I do. I understand why Cam said what he said. I also understand why the organization is, like, very minorly interested in, hey, like, maybe just don't. You are the face of the franchise. You're a quarterback. And in the NFL, quarterbacks are held to a different standard. And the way that they talk to the media is expected to be a certain way, to uphold a certain level of professionalism, decorum, whatever you want to say about an organization. And especially when you have been in the league for 2 seconds and you have done nothing, which is Cam's situation right now. Probably shouldn't do this. I don't even think it's about a feelings thing. I don't think anybody in the locker room heard that and was like, our quarterback, I can't believe our quarterback said that about us. I mean, if you want to think that that's what happened, knock yourself out. I really don't think Jeff found it offensive. I really don't think Cody found it offensive. I don't think the coaches found it offensive. I think they were all just like, oh, from a PR standpoint, probably not the right way to say that, because again, it's going to end up on t-shirts. And it's on t-shirts. And now the organization on game days in their own home stadium, it's going to be the story on social media and then probably on the news and on the radio. Like, oh, can you believe, especially if they get blasted, right, by the Patriots? Like, oh, can you believe the Titans got blasted while all their fans were wearing "We Ass" t-shirts? It's like, everyone knows that the lowest point a franchise can get in terms of their own fans is some variation of the bag on the head, right?
Yes.
This
is the bag on the head.
Right. This is a variation of that. So if you're the quarterback of the franchise, it's probably not the smartest idea to actively invite or promote some variation of the bag on the head, even if it's what you think. And no one's saying he shouldn't say what he thinks to his teammates or his coaches. I saw somebody earlier say it was leadership for him to say that. I think it's leadership for somebody in a leadership position to keep it 100% with their team. And, like, if he's saying, guys, we're asked, to his teammates, to his coaches, not in front of a microphone, it's different than saying it the way that he said it to the media. If he wants to say to the media that we stink right now, there's a way to say that and to express the exact same thing without becoming a meme, without becoming a soundbite, without being so flippant that it, again, ends up being a bad PR look for you as a quarterback who hasn't really done anything. Also, it was funny, so I support it. Also, it was true, so I support it. Also, it was refreshingly honest. And I wish, in general, one of the things from the other side of this coin that I understand a lot, something that I think Harsky's harping on quite a bit. I know Zach's harping on, like, I wish more people on this team were refreshingly honest like that. I generally agree with that point. I appreciate the refreshing honesty. If he had gone up there and said it slightly differently, but the message was the same, I would have no problem with it. It really is just the delivery. And I think that's what his teammates and his coaches had a slight problem with. But really, my biggest problem with all of this is that we care. and that we are acting like it's a thing that matters.
I think it's time to move on real quick. I mean, people are talking about Shaq versus Kobe in the comments. So.
Well, let's get to some comments on this, because I don't want to ignore what the people have to say. I've started some things that we'll get to here in a minute, but first, let me tell you about our friends over at Botero Carts. Life is short. Buy a golf cart. Botero Carts are one of our newest friends here on the program, and they have fantastic financial options for you if you are interested in buying a golf cart in the Middle Tennessee area. They store all their carts inside at their 2 locations in Columbia and Gallatin, Tennessee. They've got no dealer fees, no credit card fees, no credit option needed, 0% financing for 36 months. That's 3 years. No overhead with the financing. They're not going to nickel and dime you for 3 years as you try to pay off that golf cart. They start at $6,800, so they're also not going to break the bank if you're wanting to go and get one from them. They're open 7 days a week, so head on over anytime. It's a full service sales and rental dealership, locally owned and operated right here in Middle Tennessee. Botero Carts, check them out. Life is short. Buy a golf cart.
Yeah, also got to shout out our friends over at BTA Sports, where insight meets instinct. If you're looking to bet this weekend, have 2 or 3 props that you really like, but are looking for that 3rd or 4th one and want to get it, that's why we turn to BTA with their analytical insight that will help you make you a smarter, better. When you use the code ATOZ with the link in our show description or right before the title, it extends, if you're now with the weekly sub, from a 3-day trial to a 14-day.
3-day. Australian there for a minute.
14-day free trial, so you get full 2 weeks to experiment with the app and try to make yourself some money. I know myself and Austin have made money with BTA so far. It's been a very helpful tool for me to get through some of the rough patches. Easton, it has helped you, but also if you're following along with the Best Bet Gauntlet when we're taking these lines, it has not been a great start to the year. But that's okay.
We've been here. It's not even a little. There's not a bone in my body that's worried about us getting back on top. So don't even worry about that.
Yeah, but that's why we trust BTA, because they're going to help us get there.
Yeah, that's right. So some comments from you all on this topic before we move on. Daniel says Big Jeff has really matured. I do. I'm not going to say this is
one comment.
It's one comment. Right. But what he said, I thought was a demonstration of real leadership. And again, is he a perfect messenger for that? Like Mr. No One says, I understand Jeff here, I guess. He's looking out for the rookie and he's doing a PR speech. That's a part of it. But then Johnny says, it seems a little hypocritical considering Jeff lost his stuff on Buck last year. Yes, absolutely. Is he the perfect messenger for it? No. Is what he said still true? Yes. Major Key says Easton and Austin love stirring the pot. Well, I don't know why you're talking about Austin, because he's currently off the grid. We don't know where he is. So Austin doesn't love stirring the pot. He loves disappearing right now. Easton never reads the comments. Well, here I am reading the comments. So eat that, Major Keys. Let's see. Chris why are we acting like anything he said? Oh, I lost it. But Chris said, why are we acting like anything he said is a lie? Don't know where you pay attention, Chris. We're not. Daniel says Big Jeff is really. Oh, we already read that one. Bustin' Diamond says Cam is a leader, something this football team desperately needs. I agree, he's a leader, and it is something this team desperately needs. They need leadership in the locker room. I just think that this particular example could have been handled better, and because he's a leader and he's self-aware and he's a smart guy, he's going to learn from it, and I think continue to keep it a buck at the podium, but also be careful with his words a little bit to avoid landing on T-shirts and every graphic on every social media account in the world. Because this team, they're already struggling in every facet of their entire operation. Literally nothing's going right. So he doesn't need to add to the embarrassment, add to the plate of the PR team. Like, that's not helping. C Rich, while I don't have a problem with the comments at all, the fact that people are going to put it on T-shirts now is why you have to be careful. It's not helpful. That's literally the entire take. That's all I think about it. And I don't think it really ultimately matters. I think it's a small learning moment. But C Rich, you nailed it. Finally, Malachi, did they get their feelings hurt? Poor babies. Yeah, if you want to think that they all got their feelings hurt over this, that's fine. I don't think that was the issue here. I think it was knowing as a quarterback in the NFL, as close to American royalty as it gets, being an NFL quarterback, you have to be thoughtful. And Cam is every NFL quarterback learns that the hard way at times. And this is, I think, an example of that for Cam. Again, I don't think Cam's upset about it. I don't think his teammates are upset about it. I know his coaches aren't really that upset about it. It's just like a note for him, like, hey, next time, don't say it that way. Cool. So with that, we move on to a far more interesting topic, JT. There are 3 players that are kind of on the cusp right now for the Titans, injury-wise. 2 offensive players, 1 defensive player. All of them young, all of them seemingly close to returning, and all of them important. Now, we could ask who is most important to come back between running back Taj Spears, safety Kevin Winston, and right tackle J.C. Latham. But then we would read the word J.C. Latham 10 million times in the comments because everyone understands that having the best tackle on the team, the starting right tackle back, is most important for Cam and for this team, obviously. So we're not going to ask that question. What we are going to ask is what I'm sending in the comments now. Who's most likely to go this weekend between Spears, Latham, and Kevin Winston? That's what we want to talk about today. We're going to look at the evidence. We have 1 injury report out from Wednesday now. Everyone understands if you've been around the block, let's act like we've been here before. We know that Wednesday injury reports.
It's over. Unless you're JC Latham on Wednesday and call yourself out.
That's right. Largely do not matter even a little bit. What they do sometimes a little bit matter about is if a guy had previously not been practicing and then they're back on a Wednesday early in the week. That does tend to matter, right? That's a sign of trending in the right direction. But if a guy was out and remains out on Wednesday, all that tells you is that, well, it's not a perfect situation. Like it's not trending yet, but also Wednesdays tend not to matter. Guys will not do Wednesday, but then do Thursday and Friday. And then, they'll be back and they'll play. So all of that being said, answer in the comments. Who do you think is coming back this week? We'll look at that first injury report. We'll hear from Taj Spears, who the media was able to speak to in the locker room yesterday for the first time in a while. We'll also update you on the surgery that Taj Spears got, which became public information thanks to Blaine Bishop on the radio on Monday, Tuesday, whatever it was. So we'll update you on all of that. But first, let me tell you about our friends over at Barton Drury Insurance Group. Real quick, Barton Drury Insurance Group is where you need to go for all of your insurance needs, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs at bartondrury.com. They're a one-stop shop for both your personal and business insurance. Austin and Zach here, A to Z, they bought from Barton Drury for A to Z's insurance needs. Number of different options and plans offered to them, high level of responsiveness and expertise from the service team, and a feeling of experience that they brought to the table. Clearly, they have been around the block. They know what they're doing, and they can help you out selling employee benefits, 401k planning, life insurance, worker comp, liability, auto, property, umbrella, and surety bonds. So in other words, anything insurance related you could possibly need, they've got it over there for you at Barton Drury. They're local and they strive to provide excellent service, but they also want to take time to make sure everyone understands their insurance policies. Check them out. They're our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group. Tell them we sent you to be a part of our giveaway here at A to Z Sports for a Titans jersey coming up as soon as / if Austin decides to come back to us and rejoin his company. If he does, we'll be giving away a jersey for everyone that gives Barton Drury a call and lets them know that A to Z sent you. 615.
Well, we won't be giving everybody, but everybody's entered.
Excuse me. Everyone has a chance. Yeah, that legally speaking, that was a real problem spot for me there. We're about to have to give away so many jerseys. One of you that calls 615-806-1265 and tells them A to Z sent you will get a Titans jersey customized of your choice.
BTA, use the link in our description to get your 3-day free trial to a 14-day free trial and start betting smarter with us using BTA.
All right, JT, sending you to the comments. Between JC Latham, Kevin Winston, and Taj Spears, who is most likely to come back this weekend?
Vanessa kicks us off and says Spears is most likely. Darren says Spears as well. Spears. Bob Leaf believes none of them go this weekend, but Winston is closest. Tall Texan believes that this is the week that we get Latham back. Spears, Jeff, and Tighten Up Ohio both think Latham comes back this week.
I saw somebody say, who is Winston? Which
I did see. Hold on.
It's tough because
Spears. Who's Winston?
Yeah. Kevin Winston. Your rookie safety is really exciting, I promise. You've just not seen him yet.
Latham, it better be Latham. I agree with that. RAS Biggie says Winston, Spears as well. The hope is Latham because, as they say, we need Latham desperately. But I think a lot of people in the comments are kind of on the opinion that Spears is the guy that is most likely to come back. Do I believe that? I don't I don't know if I believe that with the rest
okay.
of the group. But
Well, let's get your answer on who you think is most likely to come back here in a minute. But first, let's hear from Taj Spears himself, who was a limited participant in practice yesterday for the first time. He was taken off of IR, put in the designated to return to practice 21-day window. So within the next 3 weeks, he's going to have to be activated or officially deactivated. So he'll be back sooner than later. And he did practice in some capacity yesterday. We saw him moving around out there, looked to be moving pretty well. Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, he's had a stroke. Was gonna say something, but now I want to play the video first. So okay. Here's what Taj Spears had to say yesterday.
It's been tough, just going through my own battles with my injury, and but yeah, it's been tough. But the past is the past. Like we get to move forward now.
What are some of the things you did to kind of maintain the right mindset and be ready when it is your turn to
just making sure I was connected, travel with the team, did everything with the team, make sure I stayed in meetings, make sure I was focused and attentive,
You feel like
So Tajay got tightrope surgery on his ankle, which was news to me this week. I'm sure it's news to everyone because it hadn't been widely reported. But that happened back because he got hurt in the first preseason game in Tampa Bay, and we've not seen him since then. It was early in that game, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was first half, I think.
Yeah.
It must have been because of that, still the starters in the game. So he goes down. We've seen very little from him. He looked good in practice up to that point. Very good, very exciting. They were utilizing him in significant ways. Let me just put it that way. Brian Callahan said yesterday, kind of a moment, I think, of more honesty than maybe some folks realize, where he was like, yeah, we were kind of really looking forward to getting to use Tajay in this offense. And part of what we complained about yesterday, some of these slower developing plays, some of the screen game and the run solution game, like that's Tajay, but he's not been around. So having him to do those things will be a boost for the team. JT, you've seen him. You saw him yesterday moving around. You kind of made it sound a moment ago, though, like you aren't sure he's the one most likely to come back. So why?
Yeah, I think when you look at where this team is right now, obviously we talked about it a little bit yesterday. The Arizona defense is not some world beaters like they have played the past couple of weeks. But I do think that still another week would probably do Tajay good because I think you want a fully healthy Tajay who can really explode off the line of scrimmage, off the line with that injury that he sustained, rather than getting a 80-90% Tajay. Like I think you only benefit from Tajay if he is 100% good to go. And with where this offensive line is right now, where this team is, I don't see a reason to rush him back because of the impact that he could make immediately. The guy I think that we have seen very, very close to return and continues to be very, very close in Kevin Winston. I think you look at him being limited this week. I think that's a guy where you're like, this guy is now pretty much as close as you can get to returning, and can also is worth, maybe if he is the 90%, like he can still be a big factor out there for this team in that safety group. You look at how the safeties have been really, really tested the past couple of weeks and how they have not had a lot of great success over the past couple of weeks. Kevin Winston, at least, if anything, if he is 90% healthy, provides at least a element in the run defense game that potentially gives a guy like Xavier Woods or Amani Hooker a breather, to where, like, when you start talking about, like we said yesterday, the simplicity, getting back to the basics with this team, extending this team's, I guess, stamina to make sure that they are, as Jeff said, not missing tackles, going from 2 missed tackles in the first half to over 35. Like, Kevin Winston probably is able to help out in that aspect because of what we know about him from his time at Penn State. And looking at those first couple of weeks in training camp before he re-injured himself. So I think if it were me and I was making my call in my decision of who comes back this week, I think Kevin Winston is the guy that comes back, just because him at 90% is so much better than a Taj Spears at 80 or 90%, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. We know that Tajay and Winston are both limited through one day of practice. Again, Wednesday meaning very little, but them doing something instead of nothing is noteworthy. Latham was a do not practice, a DNP, did not practice, continuing to work through his hip injury. I just want to reiterate once more on Latham's hip. Some people seem to think that it is this mystifying, confusing, potentially conspiratorial injury. It's a strained hip muscle. It's the whole thing. It's what he had in the 2 weeks leading up to the season, where he was out of practice for 2 weeks, and then he went in week 1, and it was fine, and he felt good until he got out there, and he aggravated it. And then they shut him back down, obviously. It's now been going on 4 weeks. They didn't put him on IR because they didn't know how long it would take for him to be back, because this is the kind of thing where, and I don't know for sure because I'm not JC, I'm not his doctors, but I do know, generally speaking, that he's felt good for a while now. Maybe days, maybe weeks. This is one of those injuries that is a perfectly inexact science. There is no amount of medical expertise or testing or physical load bearing that you can do to know for sure when is the right time to come back. It is a game of chicken injury where you feel good, but then you get out there and in week 1, when he felt good and got out there, you risk aggravating it and then it's starting over again. So you're trying to find this perfect balance wherever this sweet spot is on the timeline of coming back as early as possible because you felt good for a while now, but not so early that you risk re-injury. And so technically speaking, the longer you wait in perpetuity, in an ideal world, JC Latham wouldn't play football for another month, just to be sure. But that's not the reality. In an ideal world, if the Titans were in the playoffs, if they were in the playoffs today, and this was a winner go home spot, JC Latham would play today without question. He'd have played last week without question. The reason why he's not practicing is to continue to just let the hip muscle rest and recover. So it's really, I hope that makes sense. If anyone's ever pulled a muscle and is regularly active in any way, then you understand how this works, right? Like you're like, when exactly is the right time to come back? That you can't know. You cannot know. You just have to hope that your guess is right. And that's what the Titans are doing. And that's why they're going to wait up into the buzzer each and every week to try to decide whether or not he's going to go. Do I think this is the week he comes back? I'm inclined to say no. I would say less likely than not. I hope that I'm wrong, obviously, because he's the most important guy to come back. But I do think that Winston and Spears maybe are more likely. I'm going to say Spears is the most likely by default, not because I think he's going to come back in a significant capacity. I don't think any three of the. Let me put it this way. If JC comes, it's different for Winston and Spears, because if they come back, they can come back and play 7 snaps and really ease in, right? If JC comes back, he's starting at the right tackle.
Yeah.
You need him out there. So it's a different workload. And you can still, you can still kind of take it easy with him, but you can't play him for 7 snaps and then have Oli Udoh handle the rest of it. That's not who's the guy that Brandt, who they claimed on waivers from Green Bay yesterday. So I would say Spears is the most likely to come back, and he, touches the ball like 4 times, and it's the beginning of very gently working his way back into things. That's my guess. But I wouldn't be surprised by the exact same thing from Winston. I do think, generally speaking, they're taking a more cautious approach with Winston still, just because of the ACL return and the fact that they want to treat it like Spears is not the long-term asset that Winston is, right? They're on different timelines right now. And they also are of different need in their position group. Like Spears is more needed in the running back room right now than Winston is needed in the safety room.
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
So there we go. That's my guess is officially.
Yeah, no, I think that's like you said, like they're both going to, if they were to come back. I get that maybe from a narrative perspective, or just like from the outside perspective, the importance of having Taj Spears in the run game is probably a lot better. I still, just from watching some of the tape, I think that safety group needs help. Even like,
I'm with you. Yeah, they need him more than I was expecting them to need him. Let's put it that way.
So it's just a question of that. And I do, once again, understand that it is kind of turning more into here's the thing, like, it would turn more into a Cedric Gray situation if they would have put him on IR, but they haven't. So I think you have to realistically believe that their timeline from when that happened to now is like, it has to be like week 7, like if your timeline was anything more than that, you would have put him on IR because there's just no point. So I think we're getting very close to the Kevin Winston debut.
Yep, I agree. We've got 2 super chats to get to, and we've got a sports trivia to redeem ourselves on, but we also have one more friend of the show to shout out. So JT, would you tell our friends about Window Nation?
Window Nation, yes.
Yeah, I was making sure keeping straight which ones we'd done, which ones we hadn't done.
Let's do this one today because Window Nation, yes. We told you, the A to Z September of deals is gone, but Window Nation said, "Oh no, my friends, we're going to keep it going. Don't let a good thing die."
That just means the October A to Z October of deals has begun.
October of deals has begun, and that's with our friends at Window Nation. Get top quality, energy efficient windows from a trusted company, all at a reasonable price. Once again, you can buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and not pay a dime until when I say dime, monthly payment, down payment, or interest until 2027 when the new Titan Stadium opens. Window Nation has some of the best replacement windows out there, and their installation crews finish the job in 1 day or less so you can get back to your daily routines with minimal interruption. Gotta check them out if you are in need of new windows, certainly with the hope that this fall/winter weather is approaching quickly, because Lord knows I need it. I hate summer. Summer is my least favorite season? Season of the year. So you got to trust Window Nation to schedule a free fast free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation by either going to windownation.com or calling 866-90-NATION.
I'm proud of you, buddy. You got there eventually. BTA Sports, better for bettors, dominating the game. Check them out. Use the link in the description to turn your 3-day free trial into a 14-day free trial. Give them a try. I promise you won't regret checking out the BTA Sports app. Some super chats to get to. One, our daily dose of King V. See, lock in, like the show. Love that. Appreciate you, King. And a great reminder that if you've not liked the show yet, hit that like button right now for us. It's very helpful. Rhino saying, did y'all see J-Rob, John Robinson, of all people, throwing shade yesterday? I did, in fact, see this right now, and I'm so glad that you used a super chat to bring this up, because today is not a Tuesday throwing shade, but yesterday was a Wednesday throwing shade for J-Rob, who posted an Instagram with his wife, I'm assuming, and looks like his wife. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's his wife. And it was the first time. You know what? This is worth pulling up on Instagram. Let's go to John Robinson's account, TNJ Rob. He says this. It's a picture of he and his wife at what looks like an airport or a bus station. I don't know.
Station.
They look to be in transit. I don't know. He says okay, so it is his wife. It's a birthday post for his wife. Happy 46th birthday to my best friend of 26 years. Love you, babe. And elongated. I guess it's still my fault. All caps. ... Hashtag we ass ... If you know, you know. Crying, laughing, crying, laughing, crying, laughing emoji faces. Crazy work by John Robinson. The most funny I've seen him be. The most I don't even know if relatable is the right word, but like that's an endearing thing to say. Now, if he actually is like, if this is cope about how he's saying, "Oh, you guys are still blaming me." Yeah, we are still blaming you because this is your fault. It's still largely your fault, my man. You did take a match and light 3 whole draft classes on fire. So it is still, in fact, your fault that this team stinks. But it's a funny post. So I guess good for John Robinson, I guess.
Do you think his wife was mad about that?
That he hijacked her birthday post to
wasn't even about her. Like couldn't let it die.
That is tough.
Hold on, honey. I'm gonna say happy birthday to you on Instagram, and also.
Well, it's on one hand, yes. On the other hand, it got her birthday post 10x the engagement it otherwise would have gotten. So more people now know that it was her birthday.
Maybe he just didn't tell his wife about the second part, and it's like, look, honey, look how many people care about your birthday.
Well, it is one of those things where the comment cuts off, and without clicking to see more, all you see is the birthday part. When you click more, you get the fun little Easter egg. And, oh, by the way, I'm still the GM that screwed everything over, and you guys hate me, which is true. And the comments, I'm sure, are a disaster. Well, I'm not even going to dive into them, but it is funny. So
imagine you're his wife and you go to his page and then look at the comments, be like, look at all these people in the comments section. Probably
really excited about my birthday. That's
and it just says like it's like death threats and stuff.
Not funny, but funny. All right. Well, that's our show. Let's get to some sports trivia, JT, because we asked on sports trivia yesterday. we got some work to do here. So set that over under Orlando, and let's get to some sports trivia. Shout out to our friends at Wilson County Hyundai. Wilson County Hyundai, make them part of your new car buying process in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. I am pulling up the Daily Dozen trivia.
Here's the problem, though. Like, I haven't seen the over-under from Orlando, and maybe it's not coming today, which would be sad. However, our Cam Ward, our number one overall pick, our future franchise quarterback, Ann Herndon, is nowhere to be found. Bork said, someone call Ann. Under get the Ann effect. I have not seen a comment from her today. So that's a problem. So
that is problematic. Ann.
It is pretty problem.
Ann, if you can hear us, save us, Ann.
And I don't see Orlando with an over-under. Maybe he's given us the silent treatment because of yesterday's terrible performance.
That would be reasonable. Are you ready to flip and share the screen here?
Yes.
All right, hit it. All right, we've got NBA. Ooh, gonna need y'all's help. MLB, JT, gonna lean on you for that. Y'all know the deal. NFL, and we work counterclockwise and with celebrity mashup. Lock in the chat. We're gonna replace Ann Herndon in the aggregate with you all in the chat. We can't replace her with just one person.
Nick says she's still in the Taco Bell drive-thru, which is a very good callback.
It's a great callback, Nick. That's a great callback. I don't know how many folks are gonna get that one, but it's a good take. All right, we ready? Here we go.
Yes.
NFL. Wide receiver Peter Warrick, lasted only 6 seasons in the NFL after this AFC team drafted him 4th overall in 2000. Dog, I don't know. I was 1 year old. Peter Warrick, a bust in 2000. Somebody has to know this. 4th overall. One of y'all that was around for this knows. The Bengals? Your Bungles, JT?
I don't know. I was 0 to 6 years old.
All right.
I had not lived in Cincinnati at that
sounds like the Bengals.
Yet, so.
Geography. What is the state capital of Kentucky?
Frankfurt.
Indeed. Television. This actor had a breakout role playing Arthur Fonzarelli on Happy Days. Oh, the Fonz. Who played the Fonz? Talk about not our era, man. It's from 74 to 84, but the chat's definitely going to know. Who played the Fonz? Anybody? Henry Winkler. That's on me for not knowing that, honestly. Now that you say it, I do know that Henry Winkler is known as the Fonz. Based on a Disney theme park ride, Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, and Jesse Plemons starred in this 21 fantasy adventure film.
Jungle Cruise?
That's right, Jungle Cruise. Jesse Plemons was in that? I did not know that. Also, I don't think that movie was very good. Music. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mama sang us to sleep, and now we're stressed out by 21 Pilots.
Oh, is that what it's called? I have no idea what that song's called. Yeah.
Now we're stressed out. Jack-o'-lantern, the what? The Jack-o'-lantern burger, vampire nuggets, and mummy mozzarella fries are currently part of this fast food chain's monster menu. Is this part of Wendy's Wednesday deal thing? I've seen like the Wednesday, the TV show.
Yeah, maybe. But like Wendy's does not have mozzarella fries.
Oh, wait. No, you're totally right. Burger King? That sounds right.
Well,
Burger Bing?
I was going to say like Carl's Jr. or Burger King.
People are all over Burger King.
Okay,
We got to try it.
Nice.
All right. This man won Rookie of the Year with the Rays in 2013 and then played for the Padres from 15 to 23 and hit multiple home runs for them in the 2020 wild card round. Dog, I have no clue.
I think it was their first baseman.
Okay. Chat, who was the Padres' first baseman?
Will Myers?
We'll wait to see.
Will Myers, I
Arnold
think.
Smith?
Because I know he wasn't.
People are saying Will Myers. I saw Will Myers in there.
I want to say Will Myers because that sounds like the timeline is right on him.
Are we sure? I'm not even seeing Will Myers as an option.
I think it's only one L.
Will Myers for real?
W-I-L, yes.
Still no.
Or M-Y-E-R-S.
Oh, here. All right. Nice. Good
There
pull.
you go.
Crazy way to spell that name. Lonzo Ball helped this Eastern Conference team open the 21-22 season with a 26-10 record before injury.
Oh, I know this one.
It's the Hornets?
It's the Bulls.
Oh, Lonzo. You're right. Wrong ball, brother.
Wow, I was like, I saw Lonzo Ball, and then because I remember they had a good start, and then they crashed and burned.
That is Kevin Spacey.
The known villain from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare right there.
Indeed, of course, his most famous role. And then the woman.
We need Ann. We need Ann.
Where's Ann?
Where's
Ann, please. Please.
We need you to diagnose who this woman is.
We were doing so well in this.
We're doing so well.
Stupid woman
We
is
need
going
help.
to derail us. Helen Hunt's daughter. Somebody Hunt?
Who?
Bonnie Hunt? Helen Hunt? Holly Hunt? Ackerman. Okay. Holly Hunt. Chat, maybe. Glenn Close.
Malin Ackerman?
Quit saying Kate. It's not Kate Hudson. This is an older person.
Hudson.
This is an older person on the inside, right? Right. Well, actually, not maybe.
I don't know. A lot of people are saying
Or
Kate
it's the
Hudson
woman.
in the chat.
All right, fine.
Kate
Hudson. Okay. We'll try it. Oh, it was Kate Hudson. I
Oh,
guess.
good job. Good job.
Hey, not bad. Not bad.
Hey,
Wish
we
it could have
bounced
been
back.
number 4, but
We heard the criticism from Cam Ward.
that's right. We wrote down the bulletin
We
board
didn't have
material.
Ann either.
We internalized it. Somebody saying she is old. I what I meant was it looked like the woman had a bunch of wrinkles on her face, but it turns out the wrinkles belonged to Kevin Spacey on closer look. So
That's true.
apologies to Kevin Spacey's face. And who says Bork? No, we don't. We do not disrespect our celebrity mashup master, our resident expert.
Yes.
But we didn't need her today. We did not need her for the bounce back day. So that is our show. Buck Rising will be back on primetime tonight. Check out Thursday Night Football. I'll be watching it. I'll have some primetime props if you're interested in tailing along, having some fun on my Twitter account later today. JT and somebody tomorrow, maybe Austin. The plan was Austin, but again, we have no idea where he is or what state he's in.
It might just be me tomorrow.
It might just be JT. It'll be JT and TBD on the show tomorrow morning. Tune in for that. Have a great rest. J-Rob traded in. He may very well have. And that's why we ask. With that, have a great rest of your Thursday. More content on A to Z Sports coming later today. A lot of written stuff from me. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.